It's like kind of satisfying to me that the government would try to put this out to like distract us, and people are so over it that they like can't be distracted.
Well, they've already done it like two other times, you know?
Yeah. You can only do it so many times until we need to see a body. Show us a body.
I want a live, I want it on C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Live body.
You can't just keep saying, oh, here's documents of what people have said. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, no one can lie, so it must be true.
Yeah, I fully believe that there are aliens. I fully believe, and you know, call me crazy, whatever. But I
don't think it's crazy.
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn. And most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention. There's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather. Weirds of a feather.
Ah!
Caw-caw! Do-do-do-do-do.
Anomalous.
The Muppet Show tonight. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. Okay.
We're good.
Blast off.
Here we are.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Come in, me want to say ayo. All right. You want to get this show on the road?
Little bagel bite. Yeah. Welcome to Weirds of That's us.
Yep.
I'm your host, Kristen Stanhope.
I'm your host, Grace Bray, and this is an AuDHD-Adjacent podcast.
It is.
You forgot that.
I most certainly did.
Good thing I'm here.
Good thing you are.
Otherwise, you'd just be talking in a room alone.
Yep. Welcome to this little bagel bite number 39. Just a little tidbit of stuff for you and me.
For all of us.
For all of us.
Yeah, we're doing this for all of us.
It's we've got some things to talk about. We got emails, we got write-ins, and we got aliens. Yeah.
What else could you need?
I don't know, but we've got a little schmorg like most of our bagel bites are. But first, let's start off with our little plushes.
Okay. Do you have a warm-up question from Enya you were going to ask?
Oh, shit. Did we ask a warm-up question last?
Yeah, we talked about muffins and scones. I feel like that was a good warm-up. Yeah. So let's do one this time.
All right. I got a warm-up question.
All right. What you got?
Enya, our lovely Enya, sent us in some TikToks.
Oh, Enya's on TikTok?
No, she sent us, they were reels, but like they were really TikToks. So
okay.
She sent us some Instagram reels.
This isn't directed at Enya, but I do hate when people are like, against TikTok and they have such a moral problem with TikTok, but then they are on Instagram Reels. It's like, those are just old TikToks.
Yes.
It's the same
TikTok.
thing,
It
just
literally
worse.
says TikTok
I know.
on the thing.
You're just watching out-of-date
YouTube
TikToks.
Shorts are the same thing. It's all
literally the same thing. Get off your high horse, Enya. No, she's not on a high horse.
I don't think she's on a high horse.
Talking in general.
I think she's also on TikTok. But
no, she's not.
No.
Okay.
Anyway.
I don't think for moral reasons. I think she just has better things to do.
Getting her PhD and all that stuff.
Yeah. Raising children.
Looking at kangaroos.
And what are we doing? Who are we?
No one.
So
she sent me an Instagram reel. Well, she sent us, but I looked at it. And it was about this guy saying that he like absolutely judges a book based on the cover because the cover is supposed to like bad advertisement. You know, it's not conveying the right information. He's absolutely judging the book based on its cover. So my question is, Grace, are you judging books on the cover?
Always.
1,000%.
I don't even pretend that I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I like that cover.
Even if
I do it with wine. I do it with lots of things. I'm like, that's a fancy label. That sounds good.
I'm so easily moldable
Same.
and convinced to do something if it looks pretty and appeasing to me.
Yeah.
Even like a good texture, like a book with a nice texture. I'm like,
I'll buy books.
I wish I read, but
yeah. And it's not that I would avoid a book I wanted to read if it had a bad cover.
Yeah.
It's that I'm drawn to books that have a nice cover. Because, I figure the better the book, you would hope the better judgment they have about what the cover should look like, you know? I don't know. I think it sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's very similar to wine. A lot goes into making a wine label, more probably than the wine, but
I just think it says a lot about like the artist or the creator's judgment of how do you want to label this thing? What do you want to be the first thing people see?
Right. Do you want it to be a scene? Do you want it to be like something abstract? Like A Court of Thorn and Roses has that like kind of weird cover, but it's very like eye-catching, I think. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to make it a poll question. Write us in. Do you judge a book by its cover? Yes, no, maybe? Let us know.
I think it's fine. And I think you're right, Enya. It is kind of a weird saying of don't judge a book by its cover.
Because that's like, exactly what the cover's for.
I haven't read it yet, so how else would I judge it?
Right.
You know?
I guess you could like look at the back and read the summary.
Well, I'm going to read the summary
New
too.
York Times bestseller, which I don't understand how that works because I feel like every book is a New York Times bestseller.
You know that on the New York Times bestseller list, if it has like a little chili pepper next to it or whatever, that means that they paid to get that review.
Oh.
So
I didn't know
whenever
that.
you're looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's like a little pepper or something.
Pepper?
Whenever you see those next to a name, that means that it's not like a legitimate bestseller. They like paid to get on the list. Little secret of the industry, because I know someone who did that. Yeah, so here's my process of like deciding what book to read.
Yeah.
I'm drawn in by the cover. Then I'll obviously read the back or the inside to see what it's going to be about. And if I like both of them, I'll read the book. But I'm initially drawn in by a nice cover.
I've been doing a lot of audiobooks and they have like a little summary. And sometimes it's like the first paragraphs of the book. Sometimes it's like a juicy segment in the middle. And then if it looks interesting, I'll go and I'll read the summary or like the little like pitch. And then I'll listen to the little blurb. And then I make a decision to go forward or not.
It takes me a long time to pick a book.
Decide. Yeah.
I need to be like in the exact right mood for something.
Right.
All right. Well, that was a good question. I'm interested to hear what people have to say.
Exactly.
Do they say, yes, I judge a book by its cover? Or do they say,
do they
I'm
have
a liar?
Process? Like, is it like a process? And then like same with audiobooks. Like, how do you judge an audiobook? Do you judge it by the little tile? Do you get recommendations? Do you go to the New York Times bestseller list?
Tell us.
Yeah, let us know.
Oh, speaking of that, someone had a recommendation on TikTok for a book rating website that's not Goodreads, because Goodreads is owned by Amazon and Jeff Bezos.
Oh, I didn't know
There
that.
is a Black-owned rating app called Storygraph.
Oh.
And you can like move all of your information over from Goodreads onto there. So it's not like, because some people are like really into Goodreads where they kind of use it like social media.
I've never heard of either.
Really?
I don't really read.
Yes, you do, though. You always say that, but you do read.
A lot of audiobooks and a lot of...
That's reading, Kristen.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
saw a good
like...
tweet that was like, your ancestors did not pass stories down verbally just for you to say that audiobooks aren't real reading.
I guess...
Boom!
That is very true.
It's just a different pathway.
I read a lot, but I'm not on Goodreads.
Okay.
I don't read with my eyeballs.
Well, Goodreads is for any books, no matter how you're consuming them, whether listening or reading. It's the same concept of, is this book good or not? And Goodreads will tell you that, and you can keep track of like your want to read or like your, people like my friend Billy, she's always updating on here, but it's always like
Billy on here.
I know. She crushes books, but it's always like want to read, currently reading, finish, and then you can like rate them and you can write little things and see what other people have said. But Goodreads is owned by Jeff Bezos. So if you want to use a
What doesn't he
Black-owned...
own?
Exactly.
He
So
doesn't?
like ditch as many Amazon products as you possibly can. And this is like a really easy one to switch over. And you can take all your information, copy it over from Goodreads and put it over onto this app. So you can like...
What's it called again?
It is called Storygraph.
Storygraph.
Yeah. So I highly recommend that. I switched over and I'm very happy about it. So
what are you reading right now?
Small switch you can make. I am stuck right now. I'm not really reading anything.
Yeah.
I'm halfway through like 4 different books.
Same.
So
I'm
in a
halfway.
rut.
Yeah.
Anyways, you ready
I
to get...
ran out of minutes on Spotify, so I can't.
Get a library card.
I know. I had a library card
from your library online.
Had a library card. I don't know where it went, and now I can't get back on to the library place.
We get into those little plushes?
Yeah, let's get into these little plushes.
All right.
Let's get on with our song.
Ready?
Little
plushes.
Grace.
Yes.
Would you please?
Please.
Sorry.
I bought an acupressure mat at a yard sale last month. You know what
the
those
ones
are?
They're like
the
little circles. They have like little circles,
spiky
circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like laying on a bed of nails, where if
Ow.
you just touch one, it hurts. But if you like distribute your weight equally, it doesn't hurt. well, it kind of hurts a little bit, but not as much as like one individual one. But it hits different acupressure points in your body, and it is like calming to your body.
Oh.
I've read a lot of great things about them, and I've been wanting to try one. Found one for $5 at a yard sale. Normally they're like
you are
$80.
just all about these yard sales,
right?
Man,
I
gotta
have
go.
good finds.
You do have good luck. I go to a yard sale, I find garbage, and I buy
s-
that garbage. So then it's garbage at my house.
I'm a scrappy yard sailor.
Yeah.
So I bought this mat,
You're
and I use it almost every single night. I've been laying on
really
it every single night
How
before
long
bed.
do you lay on it?
About 25 minutes. I turn on my red light and I lay down my mat and I lay on my mat in my red light, and it's really lovely. And it like you're supposed to do it with like just your bare skin. You can work your way up to it where like you start in a shirt and then you get used to it. You kind of got to build up to it. When I first did it, I stayed on for like a few minutes and it hurt. But now it feels like really, when you get in the right spot, it makes your back feel like warm.
Oh.
And it feels really nice. And it like I could fall asleep on that thing. It puts me to sleep because it just is so like relaxing to your nervous system.
Interesting.
That it helps promote sleep. It helps with like inflammation in your body. It helps with a bunch of different things. I'm just like really proud of myself that I bought this thing that I feel like normally would sit in the corner and not actually be used. I use it almost every single night. I have it out on our guest bed, and I have it all set up so that way I just like go in, turn on my red light, lay down on my mat, and I usually listen to an audiobook, and it's wonderful. I'm really proud of myself for like
I'm proud of you.
using something that I bought. So if you are curious,
look at your setup after this.
I'll show you.
Okay.
If you're curious out there about acupressure mats, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I don't think it's just like a hokey biohacking thing.
Biohack.
I think it's legit, and it really helps me sleep well. So I highly recommend them. That's just me.
Deleted a bunch of emails the other day.
Hell yeah, you did. Ugh,
I still have a ton to go, but it was
progress.
was like 100 emails. So.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I have then 30,000 emails.
Yeah, that's impressively large.
It's a lot. It's too many.
Yeah. Inbox 0 people.
Ew.
I'm sorry if that's you. If that's like your spiel, that's great. I feel like
I hate you because I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, it's
pure jealousy.
I wish I was that person.
Like you're correct. You know, you're
you
doing it
correct.
right.
That's like how it should be done. Yeah,
I got it. Oh, look at me. I'm responsible. I get rid of things after I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'll look at that later.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do.
Once in a while you do. Or you delete something. You're like, I'll never need this. And then the next day, it's like, I needed that from 7 years ago.
I needed that.
Same with clothes.
Yeah.
Whenever I get rid of clothes, it's like, boom, now you're invited to like a 90s night and you needed that neon yellow shirt.
I was just talking about this to one of the nurses. Christopher's like, he's not a hoarder. He just collects a lot of things.
He's a level 1 hoarder. I've been learning about hoarding on TikTok, and there's like levels to it. We're all level 1, I think.
Okay.
Maybe not you. Christopher and I are level 1.
I'm very much I am my father's daughter, and I just throw away everything.
You're practical.
I'm practical. I haven't used it in a year. It's out.
I don't have that in me.
But he'll keep all these things. And I'm like, we don't need this. He's like, we might. But he's so creative that he'll be like, I'll be like, I have this problem. I need something. And I was like, well, I need to go out and like buy a thing to fix the problem. And he'll be like, wait, and proves me wrong. He'll like go in the garage for like 30 minutes, just like scrounging for scraps. And then he'll come out and he'll build this thing out of just scrap material. And he's like, perfect. And I'm just like, I'm like happy, but also like super mad because I know each and every one of those things that he found, I told him to throw out like, months ago.
Well,
but he was right. And I'm mad that he's right,
Normal and healthy. Yeah.
We have a loving relationship.
Yeah. Really
I'm just
great.
like, but also like, thank you. And I love you. But like, that's how I feel.
I think it's nice to have a combination. You can't keep everything, but you can't throw everything out. Because I don't want to have to like rebuy shit.
Yeah. If it were just me, we would be living it would look like a hospital, basically. We'd have like bare minimum furniture. The walls would be probably like white or unpainted. And we wouldn't have any things on our walls. Because I think I've just always done that. I remember my roommate in college said I had to put something on my wall because it looked depressing. So I put my lacrosse stick up there.
Oh my God.
And she was like,
dorm walls are like prisons.
Yeah. Did you have things on your dorm wall?
Yeah.
What did you have? Posters?
Probably posters. Bullshit.
I just had empty walls.
I definitely had posters.
And a lacrosse stick.
You, I think, don't think enough about your surroundings and how they impact you. And I think it's important because it's impacting you even if you don't think it is. So I think it's nice to make your space feel cozy and welcoming.
Yeah. exactly.
Treat yourself.
Anyway, we got things to talk about.
Yeah, let's get into it. What you got for us?
By the time this gets posted, it's going to be a couple weeks since like this story like broke. But I still want to talk about it. Let's talk about aliens.
Please, I've been dying for it.
So the U.S. government. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
I gotcha.
The U.S. government has been having these hearings about UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomenon, and it's been interesting.
Which is the updated term from UFO, right?
Yeah. It's gone through many like UFO to there's been like a series of different analogies.
Nope.
Acrostics.
Nope. Abbreviations.
No, it's not. It's like yes, but no. It's
the fuck?
It's the letters that mean the thing.
Yeah. Letters.
The
that
beginning
stand
letters for
thing.
Screaming right now in their car. They're on their way to work.
What is that fucking word?
What is the word?
Why is it driving me?
It's like all of the letters, the front letters of the words.
Wait, I had it.
It makes
acronym.
Oh my god!
So many friggin' A words.
Holy moly! Acronym.
We got there.
Okay.
Thank God.
Thank you. So so UFO has had like a series of different acronyms. Now we're going by UAP.
Is that what MUFON says?
No, that's what the government says.
The worst, Jerry, the worst.
So there's like, why is this important? Because this isn't the first time they've come out and said like, hey, yo, there's aliens. But turns out, to no one's surprise, the Pentagon has known about UAP for years, like decades.
Of course they have.
And has like many different secret organizations to investigate such phenomenon. The U.S. military budget is the highest in the world. We spend more on defense than the next like 5 countries do.
Thank God.
It's crazy.
Isn't our police force the 10th largest military? It's as large as the 10th largest military in the world.
I don't know.
Just our police. It is.
I don't
telling you.
I just, we spend a lot.
Just our police force is
got
bigger
a lot of
than
police,
other countries'
we have a lot
entire
of
military.
And so we spend all of that. And I think, the taxpayers have a right to know like what we're spending our money on.
Yes.
And remember when it came out like, 2, 3, probably like 6 years ago, where we found that the Pentagon failed their audit like 3 years in a row. And there's like $1 trillion unaccounted for. $1 trillion unaccounted for that we don't know. Well, we're spending it probably on aliens.
Yeah. Aliens and, destabilizing other countries and genocide and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But also aliens.
Also aliens among other things.
What do we know about these hearings? They're interviewing retired Navy Admiral Dr. Tim Gallaudet.
Like Gallaudet University.
And then former Department of Defense official Luis Elizondo and former NASA Administrator Michael Gold and independent journalist Michael Schellenberg. So these are the main guys. And they're all, some articles have called them whistleblowers. I don't know if you like get called for a hearing, if that's like a whistleblowing. Also, we kind of like,
know.
I feel like this isn't like, oh my gosh, like we've known kind of like, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. And I think like anyone who is allowed to whistleblow, quote unquote, on the government, it's like the government is allowing them to speak on this.
Right.
If they were trying to whistleblow on things that were truly confidential and that the government didn't want out, those people would be dead.
Edward Snowden kind of thing.
Yeah.
They'd be like hiding in Russia.
Yeah. Or they'd just be killed. Like the government doesn't let people whistleblow on things that they're like, we don't want this to get out, because they just kill them.
So there's a lot of things that we kind of found out. But one is the Pentagon is spending quite a bit of money to not only like have all these like investigative things, but to cover up stuff. We found that most of these UAP were found in the air. So you might have remembered back in like 2020, pandemic just happened, and the government's like these UAP up in the air, specifically like a Tic Tac one, remember?
Yep.
And there's all those like fighter pilots that were finding these Tic Tacs up in the air, Tic Tac shaped objects. But
convenient distraction right during the middle of a global pandemic.
We're going to talk about it in a second. So most of them were found in the air. Saucer UAPs were the most common, followed by orbs and spheres. Spheres.
Spheres. I don't think there's an F in there.
And then also a bunch of Tic Tacs. And then they had these, what they would call organic shapes. Like there's apparently like a jellyfish shape in the ocean outside, like near Mexico, that they found. Is it over the ocean? Is it in the ocean? Is it just a big jellyfish? I didn't listen enough to really have an opinion.
Nice. Smart.
Yeah. And then there's also like specific UAP retrieval task force with the intent to retrieve the UAP and hopefully like reverse engineer it, make more technology, more weapons.
Great.
Lovely.
Gotta protect ourselves from all those people we've pissed off.
And then we're also told that the government has like a bunch of non-human bodies that they're investigating, dead aliens. So cool. I feel like some people might see this as like justification because they've been shouting this for a while. I don't know anybody who's like truly shocked by all of this. Like the only other person I talked to.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they're out there. I feel like maybe the first time this happened back in 2020 when Tom DeLonge was talking about it and everything, I think people were a bit more shocked because it was truly the first time that the government like came out and straight up said it. But even back then, people were like, oh, but why is this information coming out right now during this global pandemic?
Right.
And now the second time that this is happening, conveniently during another huge political uprising, it just I think people are just at the point where it's like, I can't pay my rent and you're trying to like fucking tell me about aliens. It just
seems like very much like there's other things that are going on that are, the inflation is really high. People can't buy food.
Yeah.
People, at least in the US. Yeah. So I think the first time this happened was literally in 2020 where they were like, hey, there's aliens.
Look over here. Hey! Surprise. Oh, pandemic who? Aliens exist.
And then they brought it up again in 2023, conveniently midst a genocide in Palestine.
Yep. Another distraction.
And then now they're bringing it up again right after, like literally the week after election
fascist
results.
Dictator.
Yeah. So
office.
It's just interesting the way that they're just like, hey, by the way, we're going to have, look at this.
Yep. Shiny thing over here.
Yeah. And I also think the article, at least the article I read, which is from the New York Post with a grain of salt.
Take that with a grain of salt.
Grain of salt here.
Big one.
The one of the concerns from the quote whistleblowers, which are the people like in the hearing. I don't know if we already talked about.
Yeah.
Are they really whistleblowers or are they just like
kazoo blowers is what we'll call them. The level down from whistleblowers, not quite as loud.
There's a huge culture of secrecy in the Pentagon, specifically with, UAP and whatnot. And so much so that it's actually led to the detriment of some of the U.S. citizens and some citizens becoming social pariahs. Examples that I think of, they didn't like name anybody specifically or anything, or any event specifically, but if you've ever heard of the UFO, abduction of Barney and Betty Hill.
Yep.
You've heard of it. And maybe not everybody has heard of it. It's if you're a UFO enthusiast, this is a pretty famous abduction, and Betty and Barney Hill were famously abducted, so they say, and most likely experimented on, and it really affected the rest of their lives. They were social pariahs. They eventually, they did go to like some UFO meetings and cons and stuff, but conventions, but it really like negatively impacted their lives because no one really believed them and they were just seen as like crazy, but then they had all these like weird medical things that affected them for the rest of their life and they couldn't figure it out. So I, part of me thinks like if this was like out and they were like, yes, aliens are real and we have all this, we have bodies and we have all these like all this evidence that are supportive of extraterrestrial life here on Earth. I wonder if people would have taken their story a little bit differently and maybe their lives would turn out differently.
I feel like even then, no, because I feel like it's been such a long effort to discredit the idea of aliens. Like the government has been, and just general
doing
society
that forever.
Yeah, has been just making it seem like anyone who talks about aliens existing
is like
is a nut job.
Yeah.
And so I think they've done such a great job with that even with this, okay, they're talking about it. I think, first of all, where are the photos and the videos? If you have so much evidence, why aren't you showing us?
Yeah,
Yeah, but they're always like grainy. and
Where are
super
the
far away.
bodies?
Yeah, if
That's
you
what
have
I wanna-
bodies
I
on a
wanna
slab,
see-
show me an
Let's see
autopsy
these bodies.
photo. But even then, at this point, I don't know if I would believe them if they did release photos at this point,
Yeah.
just because I don't trust the government.
I want a live autopsy.
Yeah, I
On
want a
YouTube.
live autopsy, but I think people could see it with their bare eyes and they still wouldn't believe it. And I just
Yeah.
want to clarify, I do believe aliens exist. Like, I fully am on board. I do think aliens exist. I don't trust the government, is what it is, you know? I believe
Yeah.
they exist, but I feel like
Well, I
this
think
news comes out at shady times and it
Yeah.
seems like a distraction. And I think there's still, obviously, a lot of stuff they're not telling us. And it's not that I doubt the existence of aliens. I doubt trusting the government.
Yeah, I think I just distrust the government.
Yeah.
I think, it's this very convenient time, and it's like, what, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Yeah.
So it almost seems like they're trying to like unite us against like, don't look at us and all the shady stuff we're doing.
The real
The
enemy
real
is the
aliens.
aliens.
We're
Yeah.
all dead, probably.
And I think that's kind of been a ploy all
Mhm.
along, is to like, give us this other enemy to look at. Kind
Yeah.
of like we do with immigrants,
Yeah.
where it's like, it's not the 7 billionaires that are taking your money. It's the
No.
immigrants, the guy who's
It's not
picking the
the
tomatoes down the
police.
street.
Yeah.
He is the real thief.
Yeah.
Don't look over here.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's interesting that it's coming out now. I think at least what I've seen on TikTok and everybody else is just very much like unfazed by this, which is kind
Yeah.
of crazy to think about. If you told me in like, I don't know, 2016 that the government was going to say aliens are real and here's all our evidence, I would not have thought that this is how the public would react.
Yeah. Or they're like, and
And we got other things to worry
Okay,
about here.
the
Yeah.
world's about to end.
Yeah.
Climate change. And this time they're saying that they're ocean aliens.
So that's what. So
Which
I
I've
didn't
never-
find that in the New York Post, but I
Oh,
did see it.
well,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The most trusted news
Yeah,
source. If they don't
exactly.
say it.
Yeah, if they don't say it, it's not real. And I didn't listen to the hearings. And then I did link it, but there's like a declassified document about aliens and what we've been seeing that I did link from the government.
Well, this time they're saying it's ocean aliens.
Ocean
which,
aliens.
First of all, like, is that actually aliens?
Are they already
If they're
aliens, or are
coming
they
from
just
our
like
planet?
a different species that
Yeah.
lives in the ocean? Also, they're about to take over because climate change if they live in the ocean.
Well,
but-
good. They'll probably do a better job.
Hopefully.
I saw a TikTok that was like, they're not really aliens if they're from this planet. They're just wet guys. Which they are. They're just wet
They're
guys.
just wet
Why are they aliens
Yeah.
if they're from
So-
here? They're more from here than
They're
we are.
mermaids.
Yeah,
Hey.
Atlantis.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, so much of the ocean is unexplored
Yeah,
that
I
like
know.
there could be tons of creatures down there that are just like a lot of animals like the platypus used to be considered a cryptid because people didn't understand it, and then as they got more scientific evidence and proof of what it really was, then it became classified as an animal and it was no longer a cryptid. I feel like that's kind of the case with aliens, where we're like, we don't understand it, must be an alien, and then I'm sure in 20 years we'll be like, oh, that was just a type of squid.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's weird. It's such a nonchalant reaction from the public, which is concerning. I think it says more about like the state of our country right now than anything.
Yeah, I
but-
think it's kind of funny. It's like kind of satisfying to me that the government would try to put this out to like distract us, and people are so over
Like-
it that they like can't be distracted.
well, they've already done it like two other
Yeah.
times, you know?
Yeah, you can only do it so many
Yes,
times
the
until
trick
we need to
doesn't
see
work.
a body. Show us a
Yes.
body.
I want a live, I want it on C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Live body.
You can't just keep saying, oh, here's documents of what people have said.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, no one can lie, so it must be true.
Yeah, I fully believe that there are aliens. I fully believe, and call me crazy, whatever. But I fully
I don't
believe,
think it's crazy.
I think that there are things that we don't know, but I think I just
Well, they're also talking about how there's a bunch of different forms of aliens. It's not just
Oh,
like
yeah.
one guy. There's obviously a bunch of different types, but they said this in the documents, that some of the aliens look just like humans and that they're walking around amongst us.
Oh,
So
interesting.
So maybe you have interacted with the alien and you didn't even know, I just wish they would
I hope
step
so.
in,
Yeah,
I
be
wish
like,
they would say,
"Guys,
okay, guys,
all
that's
right,
enough.
enough."
You've had your fun.
Or
Not
maybe
really.
they're sabotaging the government, and they're like, "This is how we take over."
Well, they're not doing enough.
Yeah.
So
It's
do
it's a
more.
very slow process.
Yeah.
Speed it up.
Let's make something happen. Get this over with.
But so interesting. I guess my question is, once again, it seems like the US is releasing a lot of information,
Mm.
but what I'm not hearing is like aliens found in China, aliens found in Australia, in the UK. And like, how come it's just the US? Is it because we have such an expansive military budget that we're able to investigate all these things? Or are we making it up a little bit?
Yep. Are we keeping other countries quiet? Or are their governments keeping them quiet about it?
What's happening? So I guess my question is to the public, if you don't live in the US, or maybe you do and you just know, are other governments in other countries like showing this stuff?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. What's going on?
What's going on?
The alien culture in other countries?
Yeah.
What's the attitude about it?
What's the attitude?
You know?
Do you know that the US like has been releasing all these tapes, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Do you believe it?
Let's talk aliens.
Yeah. I want to know, is it that you believe aliens are real and you trust the government? Do you believe aliens are real, but you don't trust what the government's saying about them? Or do you think the whole thing is wackadoo?
Yeah.
You know?
Which means you also think that the government's wackadoo.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Are they lying, or are they just like slowly feeding us true information, or they're telling us part truths in order to kind of just like breadcrumb us, you know?
Yeah.
To keep
What do
us
you think?
distracted.
Yeah. Non-Americans. I want to know. I've so many. We should do like discussing aliens.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
I'll discuss them.
I know it's very like no, it's on brand for us. So
it's very on brand for us.
Yeah. So I just weird things are happening.
Yeah. Give us your thoughts.
It's been a weird November,
Hmm.
and it's just Anyway,
yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I got an email I want to read.
What you got?
One of our listeners who writes in all the time, Wood Coast Designs,
Heyo,
sent us an email called Jason. This is your email. I hope you don't mind me sharing. It definitely had an ADHD morning, it sounds like, and wrote right in. And he says, hello, I woke this morning with the thought murmuring in my head that if ADHD is hereditary, then that means that ADHD has an origin. That's fair. As I'm sure you can already see, or perhaps have already gone down this rabbit hole, that this is a rabbit hole will be very deep. I don't care about the first Scottish diagnosis by Sir Alexander Crichton in 1789, although a knight is worthy and honorable enough person to introduce the world to neurodivergence. Whereas I am much more interested with Hippocrates making the mention of ADHD-like symptoms around 400 AD, saying, quote, patients could not keep their focus on any one thing for long and had exceptionally quick reactions to things around them, end quote. It was because there was an overbalance of fire over water. Maybe we should look into that more.
Is that like the humors kind of?
Like the humors, yeah. But I thought you had like water, bile. Maybe fire's a humor.
I don't know if they are. I think those are different than humors, but I'm just
Earth, fire, water. There's one more, right? Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. You never watched Captain
Planet? No, never.
Oh my God.
I didn't have cable. And I've never been into superheroes at all.
You would have liked Captain Planet. He had a mullet for days, and he was all about stopping pollution.
I was watching PBS,
watching Power Rangers and Captain Planet.
I was learning about history from a little dog.
Okay.
So
he goes on to say, I can't help but notice and take in that this is exactly how I would describe my lovely wife. Lady Rockwell also writes in all the time. It's very cute. Her lineage being broadly European with a large dose of indigenous Guatemalan, perhaps Sir Christian was onto something. Digging a little deeper, I read that ADHD diagnoses are equal across all races. This is, of course, disregarding what appears to be happening in the U.S. With the racism, diagnosing African Americans at a higher rate. If ADHD doesn't appear in a higher rate in a certain region, does that mean that ADHD is from our roots in Africa? Or Adam, if you prefer. Some scholars even note examples of the Bible and ADHD-like traits in its characters, which I like how he writes characters for the Bible. I think it's really...
because it's a made-up story.
Yeah.
It's a work of fiction. They're characters.
So then he sends us a link for a DNA site, which I did read briefly, Jason. I need more time because it's like very biochemistry heavy. Is a big article.
We want to be able to dedicate the proper time to this theory because it's interesting.
It's really interesting. And I think we could even go on and like talk about certain like historical characters and whether or not they demonstrated any neurodivergence.
Yes, I love doing that.
I do as well. I love speculating.
It's my favorite thing to do.
I know it's your favorite.
Because you can't be wrong.
You can't
That's just my opinion.
Maybe.
It's my speculation. Seems like ADHD.
So he sends the link. It's from a study from 2001. And he said that the study concluded that mutations commonly present in people with ADHD are ancient and do not appear to have a specific origin, but can be seen in ancient Asia, Africa, and the bonobo DNA, which is a monkey, is what you told me.
Yeah.
I learned a thing. This is, of course, assuming I was able to digest the scientific paper, probably better than I could, Jason. It's quite the paper. There's a lot of alleles and a lot of DNA stuff.
So I'll let you summarize this one.
Yeah, I'll look into it more. I gotta rein it in.
Yeah.
He says, anyway, I've gone too far and probably just should have started asking off if you had any thought about this or researched this already, which you most likely have. I haven't.
We have not.
We have not. So this is a great email. So thank you for writing us in. He said, keep up the great work in the pod loft. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, we really appreciate this email because now this makes me think things.
It also makes me think things.
Yeah, these are things I haven't thought before, and I just didn't think about in the evolution and family trees of ADHD.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my whole thing is originate at a certain point in history, or was it just as humans evolved, different types of brains, and we've always had different types of brains,
right.
Or was it something that wasn't an adaptation, or something that came about at a certain time, or
right.
was it just
ancient? If it's seen all throughout the world, it's got to be old.
Got to be old. Yeah, I'm very interested in this topic in saying that ADHD is present pretty equally across all countries and cultures. Made me think of stuttering and how it's the same thing. That 1 to 2% of the population is a stutterer, and it's the same globally in every other country.
Oh, really?
In every country.
Really?
Because I feel like stuttering is a easier and more objective thing to measure than ADHD.
Yes.
Because ADHD is so culturally dependent. You can see traits across all cultures, but certain cultures that have more academic demands or more attention demands or whatever, or more sit and be quiet demands, or you're going to see ADHD much more prominently than others. Whereas with stuttering, it's if you stutter, then you stutter.
Yeah.
And people can very obviously hear you either stutter or you don't.
It's very much more of an objective finding.
Yeah.
That's measurable.
Yeah. So it makes sense. And I'm wondering about stuttering too. Has that always
almost
been
like you
a
need
brain
to do
structure?
An episode on stuttering.
I know. I've been talking about it forever, and I'm finally going to do it.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
I believe in you.
I'm doing it.
I want to learn.
All right. You learn about this. You read this article,
okay.
and I will do my episode about stuttering, okay?
Great. Let's do it.
Great. Plan. Well, I'll see you back here next time. Yeah.
But thank you, Jason, for this was a great email. I love a good scientifical article.
Scientifical?
God, I can't speak today. I love a good science-related article.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is something I definitely need to take a moment and have a good solid cup of coffee and sit down and digest both the coffee and this article.
Yeah. And we will soon. So we'll get back to you, Jason.
Yeah, let me get back
for writing in.
Yeah, but thank you for writing in. And then I wanted to move on to some listener write-ins because I did take a poll and I didn't post the results and I feel bad about it, but emotionally indisposed after a couple Tuesdays ago. And
wonder what happened.
So was not able to post.
We'll read them on the episode, which is even more special.
Yes.
Also, why does scientifical sound like such a silly fake word, but economical is a real word? Economical is a word that I feel like is not a real
has
word.
a ring to it. Economical.
I think it sounds fake.
Economical. It sounds like a song. It should be in a song.
Right? Like femininomenon.
Femininomenon.
Economical. It sounds like a fake word. Just like scientifical sounds like a fake word. Economical sounds like a fake word. And I stand by it.
I don't think it sounds fake. It just sounds musical.
I think it sounds silly.
All right. Let's go to some listener write-ins.
Please.
All right. So the first one is, we talked about, what's your current verbal stim?
I'm nuts for nuts.
Yeah, that was yours.
It still is. Every time Ian eats mixed nuts.
I work at the bank.
Normal.
So my tongue, not sure if this counts. It does.
It definitely is.
And she says she's always humming nonsense.
Counts.
Counts.
Humming is really good for your nervous system. It stimulates your vagus nerve. So keep up that humming, unless it annoys people. But keep up that humming. It's good for you.
A humming quiet in private.
Yeah. Go hum to yourself.
Yeah. Hum to yourself. Wood Coast Design, Jason, Wood Coast Design says inhaling it's a very Maynard thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enya wrote in a bunch.
Of course.
So we're gonna fly through.
She always gives us multiple answers.
Yeah, multiple answers.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
The first one goes pew 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 pew. But I did it wrong. It's the downbeat of the "Drop It Like It's Hot" song by Snoop Dogg.
Pew 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 pew. Drop it like it's hot. Drop
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah. Very specific.
I think this one's from a TV show where it goes, "Oh Rosa, Rosa, Rosa."
Oh, is it from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Is there a person called Pontiac Bandit on there? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rosa, Rosa, Rosa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doug Judy. One. Doug Judy is the Pontiac
There you
Bandit.
go.
Knew it. And yeah, I always get your references.
Then she, wiggy wiggy brow wow.
That's a good one.
I love that one. Bianca Bastoni.
Bianca Bastoni.
She wrote it.
It's one of our verbal stems. Is your name.
And we're really sorry about it.
It's so fun.
She goes, meep meep. That's adorable.
I love that one.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
For years now, Matilda wrote in. She's been whistling the Mexican hat dance or Super Mario's tune. Whistling. That's a lot of whistle.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's a hard whistle.
Good for your mouth muscles.
Heaven sent one, toodalooing while I read labels in the organic aisle as guaranteed as the sunrise.
What? What does toodalooing mean?
I don't know. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. He's just going toodaloo.
Reading labels in the grocery aisle. That's when
very specific.
You're like, actually, I'm going to go to the next aisle.
Yes.
I don't need beans
stop toodalooing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus.
We'll wait.
Yeah. Colin, I need a little clarification on that one.
Please write in a clarification on what the toodaloo is.
Toodalooing. Once again, I think Colin is one of those people that doesn't actually listen to this podcast. He just likes participating in the polls.
Yeah. I don't think he actually listens.
Such a Justin move.
Yeah. And then lastly, Susan says, good grief.
Good grief.
Very Charlie Brown of you.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's a cute one.
So thank you for those write-ins. Those are lovely.
Yeah, those are fun. I love hearing people's verbal stems.
I do
It's always
too.
like the silliest
Your
things.
verbal stems are going to become my verbal stems.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen. So the next one the next one people wrote in about, we talked about what's something that's embarrassing for no reason. Our friend Kylie said getting ice cream. I said going to the dentist. You said
getting a haircut.
Exactly.
Boom.
Boom.
Embarrassing.
H. Yoder Picks said asking IT for help to unlock my work phone for the second time. That is embarrassing. Ricky Roxon says secondhand embarrassment from watching Scott's Tots on the episode of The Office.
I cannot watch that episode.
It's so bad. Yeah, I've only watched it once, and that's enough.
I skip it every single time. Hey, Mr. Scott, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true.
Wood Coast Designs, Jason, writes, having a mouse problem in your truck.
Tell me about it, Jason. Just sell your truck. You know, CarMax, I guess, doesn't care. Yeah. No, I killed the mouse first, and then I sold my car.
Oh. And yeah, once again, we've got a couple.
And yeah.
Forgetting people's names. There are too many.
Yep.
And they never wear any fucking name tags.
Right?
I think everybody needs a name tag.
I agree.
She also says bellowing instructions at other people's children in a public setting. And then leaving a butt-shaped sweat mark on a plastic chair. Yes. After sitting on it.
But that one is embarrassing for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it's a butt mark.
It's a butt mark.
It makes sense that you're embarrassed.
Yeah, but everybody leaves a butt mark. Even if it's
not everyone.
Like if it's hot out, there's going to be condensation.
It doesn't mean it's not embarrassing. Just like everyone farts, but you doing it in public is embarrassing. Because not everyone's doing it right that second.
It's true.
I think like scolding another parent's child in front of them or like correcting them is always really embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing, but it needs to be done sometimes.
Like, do I have the right to do this?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to respond to this?
Right,
some people get so mad. But yeah, sometimes it needs to be done.
It needs to be done. Like if your child's being a menace, then your child's opening it up for other people to scold them.
Yeah, that's on him.
That's on the kid. Yeah. You know, they got to learn.
They have to learn.
And maybe you will too.
And nothing teaches you better than being scolded by an adult you don't know. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like
because you can't even talk back to them because they're like another adult.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I guess I'll go cry in my room and think about that for the rest of my life.
Yep. And I have.
Yeah. Molded me as a person.
Bianca Bastoni.
Bianca Bastoni.
She said paying with a gift card.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a really good one.
Because you don't really know how it works. And it's like, do I swipe it like a credit card? Do I have to hand it to you?
Here's my gift card.
Do you scan it? Do you have to like put in all the numbers? I don't know how much is left on it.
Exactly.
I agree. Social anxiety all around.
Laura Nicole 07 says living.
Got that right, Laura.
Yep. Alexa Schaefer says using an umbrella.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And actually,
yes.
In Seattle, they like don't use umbrellas there.
Yeah, same in Oregon. They don't do it.
They don't do it. It's like
they all wear rain jackets. Yeah. Like Oregon is one of the rainiest places in the US.
I want to be dry.
Yeah.
Let me use my umbrella. I do say, like, if you're in like
up.
a big city, like using an umbrella in Boston, you got to like navigate.
Yeah.
Like you can use it.
You got to be careful.
But you got to be careful. And you got to figure it out.
Eyes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oregon and Washington are notorious for being very rainy. And it's so true. Like the culture, like I didn't live in a big city. It's just like all of Oregon, they do not use umbrellas.
Same.
They just wear rain jackets. It's so weird. The East Coast is all about the umbrella.
Yeah.
Was the umbrella invented here?
I think in England.
Oh, that would make sense. The original rainy place. Earmuffs were invented in Farmington,
original
Maine.
It's rained everywhere. It's not
England is it's like known for being the rainy, dreary place. When you think about in the world, where's like a rainy, dreary place to live? I feel like England.
Washington.
I think of England. I think of England, Ireland, and Oregon. 3 rainy places, right?
I think of here in the spring. Heaven Sent One. We have to move on.
Okay, you're right.
Heaven Sent One said having half calf socks that are too perfectly pulled up.
Like a dweeb.
I don't relate to this one. I
always wear dorky socks. I don't care.
I know that there's like a proper way to wear socks by the youngins, but I'm just not going to do that. I don't know what they want from me.
I don't care what they want from me. You know what?
Yeah, I don't care.
I've earned the right to not care.
Ankle socks. I'm going to wear knee-high compression socks. I'm going to wear calf socks. I'm going to wear whatever fucking socks I can find.
Same. But I will be wearing socks.
Yeah. As long as they're socks, I'm happy.
Yeah, always socks.
I actually like responded immediately to this one. JDJR207.
Oh, that's Jesse.
Jesse said windshield wiper speed. Yes. I like
if you're going too fast.
Gut reaction to this because it's so, how fast am I? Like, I'm always like about to drive off the road because I'm looking at other cars and looking at their windshield wiper speed and seeing if mine's too fast or too slow. Because I don't want to be that person that has like really fast windshield wipers when it's like so unnecessary. I know it doesn't need to be a thing, but it is.
It doesn't
matter.
Agrees
with me. She agrees with me. So it's like
that's such a specific one.
Such a specific fear of like having the improper.
You know what? I'm working on my exposure therapy to like not care so much about being judged and doing embarrassing things.
Yeah.
And my thing is I'm working on not caring if people see me singing in the car because it's like the perfect time to work on your resiliency of not caring about this judgment of someone you'll never see again who's driving past you in 2 seconds. Who fucking cares if they're laughing at you that you're singing?
Also,
it doesn't
eyes
matter.
on the road, buddy.
Right?
Stop looking at me.
So I'm working on that for my own exposure therapy. I think you should work on not caring about your windshield wiper speed. Your windshield speed. Your windshield speed. Right? Because
is it too fast or too slow?
No one knows. That's something that truly doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
And I think you can work on not being so embarrassed by that, you know?
Okay.
Because like I feel like that one is
it's so embarrassing.
The least embarrassing out of all of those.
It's so unnecessarily embarrassing.
What do you think is more embarrassing? Using windshield wipers that are going too fast compared to everyone else or singing in your car?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't think it's even a comparison. I think who gives a shit if you want your water.
I'm the only person who thinks that.
If you want your water to be cleared off of your windshield more quickly than other cars, that's a personal preference, and I stand by that. Who cares?
The other thing is like when you're a passenger, and the driver does not have the proper.
They're like going nuts on it.
No, they're going too slow.
Yeah,
and you're like,
see, that bothers me. Not because it's embarrassing, but it's like. I can't see. How
but
are
I'm
you
like,
seeing?
Can't you see the other cars have their wipers on way faster?
But that's not, for me, it's not a comparison thing. It's more like, I can't see out of this windshield, so I don't know how you can.
That's the other thing. It's like, I can't see. Or if they have like one good windshield wiper on their side and one really shitty one on
and then it gets stuck and it's like,
and you're
squeaking.
Like, I guess I just won't see.
Yeah, I guess I'll just close my eyes.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. That was a really great list.
Yeah. I'm like really proud of everybody for writing stuff in.
Yeah.
We got a lot of write-ins. And they were all like really good. Good on you guys.
Yes.
Thanks for writing in.
Yeah.
I thank you for the emails. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for posting Squirrel Trauma on Facebook. I've been reading them.
Yep.
It's been lovely. Thank you for
being you
and listening. We appreciate it. We love the write-ins. We love people DMing us and sending us stuff. Actually, I just checked. Enya sent us another reel I have to look at after we record this. It never stops.
Nope.
And we love it. So thank you for sending all these in. We really, really appreciate it. We love all the activity. And even if we don't like respond to you right away, we are reading them.
Yes, you're in our hearts and souls.
Yes, you really are.
Yeah, it's a us issue, not a you issue. Keep writing us in.
Keep writing us in.
Yeah.
Because we really enjoy it.
Because I feel like sometimes I don't respond in email because I'm like, oh, I'll read this email on the podcast and then they'll hear my response. I don't need to like also email them back. But then we don't read their email for like 3 months and then they probably just think we're ghosting them.
And maybe they're not cut up like Jane, who's on episode like 20.
Yeah, they might not hear it for a long time.
So I'll write back to Jason.
I wrote back about the tea towels. I was pretty proud of myself.
I'll write back to Jason. I just felt like I didn't have like a smart enough response, but I'll think of something.
And if you want to reach out to us, you can email us at weirdsofafeather.com. You can follow us on Instagram and DM us there at Weirds of a Feather. We do polls every Monday, so come participate. Give us your responses. You can follow us on Facebook in our Facebook group. You can go to our website at weirdsofafeather.com. We got merch there. And we got a Patreon at patreon.com/weirdsofafeather. We have a series called NDTV going on where we talk about our favorite neurodivergent television characters.
Absolutely.
And that's it. We got to get out of here. This is a Bagel Bite.
It is.
Yeah.
A longin'.
Yeah.
But they usually are.
Yeah. Big ol' snack. So we hope your mouth is full, stuffed to the brim.
You are satisfied.
Yes.
And if not, listen to the other episodes.
Yeah, there's more out there.
Yeah, there's plenty more.
Yeah.
Yay!
Fill your bellies. All right.
Oh, ghost bird.
Ghost bird.
Ghost bird. I like that.
Yeah.
I think these are just ghosts.
Yeah, they're just ghosts.